Familiar Wilson's Media. Relationships are the story.
You are made of meat, my friend, all the way down.
The following podcast uses words like and also. If you're not into any of that shit, then now's your chance.
3, 2, 1.
Run.
Super familiar with
Welcome to Super Familiar with the Wilsons. I'm Amanda.
And I'm Josh. Today is, well, we're recording on a Sunday, and it is 2 days after Valentine's Day. Amanda, what's your take on Valentine's Day?
I was never a big fan of it growing up because, when you're like in high school and everybody's getting flowers and balloons sent to school and you don't have a boyfriend and not that I didn't date in high school. I did. I just apparently never had them during Valentine's Day. And
that's a weird flex. I'm going to be free during this day.
No, it wasn't on purpose, believe me. And so my friends and I would send stuff we'd send balloons and flowers to each other from anonymous. So that
oh my god, that is so sad.
I know, but we all knew we were doing it. We just wanted the people around us to be like, oh, they're getting things from secret admirers.
See, now that's like the modern day version of that is so much more empowering because they'll have these Galentine Day things, which is like we know and we don't care if we're not getting this
and
or
we're
that.
Celebrating our friends and the love we have for our friends is more important. And because the 18-year-old went and had Galentines on Friday night with her friends, and I love that they do this, right? So empowering. Instead, 30 years ago when I was in high school, we had to pretend it was from, secret admirers.
Well, we didn't celebrate Valentine's Day on Valentine's Day because we're parents and we can't just do stuff when we want to do it. I mean, that's just
right.
The life that we live. And part of it is we want to give an update, I guess, to the situation from last week. Just a recap, we did an emergency foster situation with a tiny dog that ended up tearing our lives apart.
Within 48 hours of this dog being here. The upstairs bathroom flooded the downstairs. Cars were scratched. Shells fell off of walls. Now, I don't think she's directly responsible for any of these, but it all happened.
Unless she is a demon because she's pulling the shelves off of the walls. Yeah, no. I mean, it literally happened where we had left. I say we, and it wasn't me, and I wouldn't have done this. But the dog was put in a crate during the day when we couldn't be at home, right?
Yes.
Because that's what you do. Except that the dog wasn't put in the crate.
I came home to pick something up, and the dog was crying in the crate and had spilled her water and was just sitting in water. So I opened the crate, but I positioned it to where there's a pocket door in the bathroom that she was in, where there's the toilet and the tub and then the pocket door and then the sinks and, the outer area. So I positioned the crate in the pocket door where she couldn't get out to the outer area, but she could be in the crate with the towel. She could get out to the puppy pad and get out to her water. I thought this was a very good idea.
Yeah. And so we came home and there was dog particulate all smearing all over the tub.
Somehow this tiny little 8-pound chihuahua got into the tub.
Right.
She can't get up on furniture, but she clawed her way into the bathtub and got
stuck. Don't, spiders can't make their way out of tubs. I don't know how this dog that doesn't have little grippy pads on its hands and feet got up in there, but it left a big old mess. So I came home, I went to clean it up, leaving out all the details because what's the point? And we have an insurance claim out about it anyway. I'm walking downstairs after having cleaned it up, and I notice water dripping from one of the light fixtures that is right below the bathroom, and I'm like, what the actual hell is going on?
You yelled, turn the water off. I'm like, there's no water running up here. I was like, there's nothing happening up here.
So mix into that, it was the same day, right, that the 18-year-old hit a car?
Scratched our car on a concrete pole.
And I just couldn't, and then did the shelf fall off?
The shelf just fell off
the same
night, 30 minutes later, of its own volition. I went into the laundry room and the shelf just yanked out of the wall. Now, I had put the laundry detergent was buy one, get one free. So I had put too much weight on the shelf, but those had been there for about 2 weeks. So it just decided that was the night.
That had the dog in the middle of the night appeared in front of us, floating in the air with black smoke around, red eyes, head spinning all the way 360, saying to us, "Your soul is now mine." I would not have been, that would have been the least surprising thing about that day.
So, and it was Monday.
God. So this damn dog is now out of our lives, and happier about it I could not be.
But we wound up falling a little bit for her. So sweet. So tiny. I stayed home with her most of the week because one, I was waiting on the insurance people to come, which they still haven't. And, but it was like having a newborn. I mean, you could not leave her alone. And I told Josh on Thursday, I have to go get a shower because I think I've been in these pants for 3 days. They were like flannel pajama pants. I think I've been in these pants for 3 days. It was that foggy newborn. I haven't taken care of myself. You know, as soon as the 18-year-old got home from school and work, then she took over. But in our poor existing podcast pup had to stay upstairs in just our room and didn't have the reign of the house. And so it was a lot, but she was very cute, very sweet. I feel sad for her. She came in off the street. She has 3 teeth. She has are rotting. Does not appear to have been taken care of well. But I have a colleague who's been looking to foster to adopt, who had Chihuahua growing up, no other dogs in the home. And so we did a foster takeover yesterday. They're fostering to adopt her, and she seems like the perfect fit for their family. So we're grateful.
And of course, that's going to be the latest on Fox Reality, foster takeover.
Yes.
It just goes to underscore what I've always said, that the worst things come in small packages. You know, splitting of an atom can blow up Hiroshima, right? Licorice gumdrops, awful. Babies, terrible. I'm telling you, the worst things come in small packages.
You loved your babies.
Well, only because they related to me and I had to, was the law.
You were so grumpy. She was sweet and lovely. None of these things were her fault, but she just happened to bring about something was in retrograde somewhere.
So as a result of, by the way, there's always something in retrograde anymore. What the hell is going on with these planets right now? Whenever I hear something bad happens, like Jupiter has passed Uranus or whatever. So I don't know if it's the planets and the stars that are screwing us up, but I am not happy about it.
Or they've heard about what's going on here and they're just like trying to run away.
Yeah,
I don't know.
That's what it is.
All I know is Monday felt like the longest month of my life. Like that was just a really long Monday.
Born a loser, misfit quicker than a flicker, but he found love. 26,000 a day.
All right, so let's move on to our Saturday soccer update. All right, in a thrilling encounter, the Mighty Wolves secured a hard-fought 3-2 victory over the Jaguars in their penultimate match of the season. The result never seemed in doubt as the Wolves led from start to finish despite a spirited challenge from a Jaguars side featuring the ever-controversial Simon, whose age eligibility remains a topic of sideline speculation. The standout performer of the match was Gunter, who delivered a defensive masterclass while contributing 2 stunning long-range goals. His booming strikes from deep in his own half left the Jaguars goalkeeper with little chance, particularly since this league plays without goalkeepers.
Yeah, we found that out yesterday.
Didn't know that. Proving that sometimes the best offense starts from the back. Meanwhile, Winthrop Wilson continued to be the engine of the team, constantly involved in the play and capping off his relentless performance with a well-earned goal.
He got the winning goal.
In a bittersweet moment for the squad, it was announced post-match that Brianna had officially retired after a decorated 4-game career with the Wolves, opting to trade the pitch for the dance floor. Her contributions will not be forgotten. Also, adding an unexpected twist to the day's events, a vocal fan who had been offering sideline feedback all season found themselves promoted to assistant coach.
Yup.
A bold move that underscores the Wolves' outside-the-box approach to team management. With just 1 match remaining in the season, the Wolves will look to carry the momentum into the finale. One thing is certain, the team continues to deliver excitement week after week.
Yeah, so this one was really exciting because this was the team that they just got trounced by like week 3 or something. And so Winthrop's response was, we beat the best team, so that means we're the best team.
At this point in the season. But what does he do with the fact that he had lost to the best team before?
He nothing. And last night we were talking about Gunter. So Gunter had a penalty kick. So we didn't realize on us that, because I was complaining about how the coach wasn't playing a goalkeeper. Well, apparently this league doesn't officially have goalkeepers. Like, you can run down there and protect your goal, but you cannot do any like catches with your hands like a goalie
yeah, so
would,
basically
right?
It's like a defender that is standing near the goal. That's that.
And Gunter, like a goalie, right? Like, protected the goal but used his hands. So then Simon got a penalty kick just straight in. Then Winthrop was kicking, and one of the other teams just fell on the ball to stop it from going into the goal. A Jaguar just fell on the ball. So there was a penalty kick, should have been Winthrop's, went to Gunter. Gunter missed. Gunter was really, really upset, right? They still won because Winthrop scored the winning goal. But last night I was talking to Winthrop about this, and we were talking about the game, and I said, Gunter was really upset that he missed that penalty kick. And Winthrop said, yeah, but it doesn't matter because we still won and we all had fun. And that's really the important part. So he seems to still have a very good mindset about this.
Yeah, it surprised me. Like, he's anxious about everything else in his life except for when he's on the pitch. Maybe like soccer is really his thing that he will get into flow about, and like it'll be his place. All right, so we just stopped recording, and Amanda, what happened?
There was grumping outside of the door. Turns out we had an interloper or an eavesdropper, and Winthrop was listening and was unpleased about all of the things we said about soccer being his thing. I know. I was joking. He was displeased. All the things we said about soccer being his thing. Soccer's not his thing. He doesn't like soccer. He only does it because we told the coach to sign him up, and he doesn't have fun while he's doing it. So how could I have fun doing something that I didn't want to do? Those were all the things that were just very sternly expressed to me whilst I was giving him my leftovers from Local Provision for breakfast.
Parents out there, write into us, familiarwilsons@gmail.com, if you have a child who just blatantly lies just to be a contrarian.
Yes, because he does have a very good time whilst he is doing it.
We will make a podcast episode out of just little tiny dictatorial contrarians that live in all of these houses.
I know.
So I don't usually do this. I don't usually let the audience know the travails that we go through just to record a podcast episode. Like how many times I have to pause and deal with some sort of thing that has happened. So first it was Winthrop, and now it's the dog, and he had brought like a little Chewy toy that was crinkly, and I it's probably my problem, right, where I can't deal with noises.
You're only telling the story so you get to gloat. This is why I'm rolling my eyes at you. This is the only reason why you're telling the people. You don't usually tell them, but you're telling them now because you know that you were right. Go ahead.
The dog had this crinkly toy, and so I said, Amanda, please take the toy from the dog. She said, no, I'm going to take the dog into Muffy's room, and the dog will stay there. I said, Amanda, you know full well the dog will not stay in Muffy's room. He will end up scratching at our door in 5 minutes because he will want to come back in because he is pasted to your hip. You said, no, let me do what I want to do.
I said, let me try this. I didn't say, let me do what I want to do.
So you came and sat down, and immediately the dog was at the door to come back in. And I just want to know why you don't listen to me.
Because I have hope, and I have the power of yet. I have a growth mindset.
The power of yet? I've never heard of the power of
yet.
Are you sure you don't mean the power of Yeti? Like Bigfoot?
No. Growth mindset. This is when I was teaching, we would talk to the kids about the power of yet. Like if they would say, I can't do that, and we would change it, I can't do that yet. So it's the power of having a growth mindset about, skills. And I have a growth mindset that the dog can eventually just do what I want him to do. He's almost 10, but I'm still hanging on.
So I have what's known as hopeful realism.
Okay, fine.
And because we've never trained a dog to do what you're saying, because you're just hoping that on the fly it's just going to magically happen, this is where the realism part comes into it.
All right, fine. Move along.
Well, let's button up the topic we were talking about, which is soccer. And I am still of the mind that the little lad enjoys it when he's there, and that we should sign him up for the next session. This is what I want to do.
All right, but you break it to him because I just got yelled at about it.
I think we just we dress him in his kit one morning and take him, and then he's like, well, why am I here? It's like, oh, we got a game. And then he'll be there. The whole thing with him and with all of my children so far has been just getting them there. It's like changing, course correcting them, because they're all about inertia. Whatever speed and direction they're going, they want to keep going that direction. But once we get him there, he enjoys it, and that's what I think we should do. He should just turn up at the soccer game. It's like, okay, well, here we are. He's like, oh, okay, and he goes and he plays.
What kind of sweet hell is it going to be to get him to dress in the kit in the morning? So he's going to be like, why are you doing this to me?
Just tell him that it's Quidditch gear and it's Harry Potter themed, and he will be all for it.
That is true.
Amanda, you were a teacher for many years, yes?
Yeah, pre-K, K, and first grade.
All right, so check out this news story. Kindergarten teacher finds unexpected item in student's pocket.
Okay.
Have you ever found unexpected items in students'
Not
pockets?
in pockets, but yes, in other places.
Crystal Starnes shared a humorous incident where her 5-year-old son's kindergarten teacher discovered a condom in her son's pocket.
Would not even surprise me.
The teacher found the item when the boy asked about it during recess.
Like, what is this?
What's this, teacher? Oh, it's a water balloon, kid. But don't open it. Oh, why has it got stuff?
Ew, gross.
It's got stuff on it,
why
teacher.
Why does it glow in the dark?
Yeah. Why is it ribbed for my pleasure?
Why does it taste like strawberries when I lick it?
Upon investigation, she realized the jeans were a recent purchase from a store. The story, I guess from a thrift store or something. The story went viral on TikTok, blah, 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 blah. All right, so this doesn't surprise you.
No, I've not found condoms in children's pockets. But when I was teaching pre-K, on Fridays, we would send them nap mat stuff home. So like the mat cover, the blanket, the pillow, and the parents would wash it over the weekend and bring it back.
Okay, you said nap mat. Okay, I didn't hear that. All right, go ahead. So you'd send the stuff from the mat that they took a nap on. Go ahead.
Yeah. So the parents would wash it over the weekend and bring it back. And so the kids would come in on Monday morning. Parents would put all the stuff in their cubbies, the new mat stuff, take it out. And my co-teacher and I were taking them all out, I think when the kids were at music or something, and putting them on the mats and putting them away. And amongst all of the things, we found a very sexy black lacy thong.
Oh, very good.
So static cling, I guess. I don't know. But we would pin lost items up to our bulletin board by the sign-in sheet. We would say, is this sock yours? Is this mitten yours? And
you did not.
We didn't. We were like, we cannot pin the black lacy thong up. We knew who we thought it was just based on profiling parents. But
were you right, though?
They never asked, and we never said, is this yours? So we just wanted to throw it away.
It didn't have initials on it? Oh, you threw it away.
No.
Okay.
And then also I came
what
across...
parents' initials are XL?
Right? I came across a child in the bathroom. Like, weirdly, when I was teaching preschool, there was a bathroom that connected the office to the classroom. So you'd have to walk through the bathroom to get to the office if you were going from inside the school.
That's weird.
You could get to the office from outside, but it was because the school was an old house. It was a converted house.
Okay, got it.
And I was in the office and I could hear somebody in the bathroom and they were making what we would call maybe pleasuring sounds.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Totally was just sitting there pooping. Was not like whatever.
An adult?
No, it was a child.
Oh, okay.
But
we can't talk about this.
mimicking the sounds, and then
we can't talk about this.
Mom turned up pregnant. Like, meaning he had heard these sounds in the home. All right, cut that all out then.
No, I'm not going to cut it out. We'll just leave it there.
So what I'm saying is nothing surprises me with like I would tell parents all the time, what you think is sacred and stays in your home does not. It will come to school in like some shape or form. So just know that we know a lot more about your life than you think we do.
What is the like most surprising thing? Like, I won't say horrifying, because we don't want to say those, but like the thing that a kid told you about the home life. Let's not make it be tragic either. Just like some weird, funny thing that you've heard.
I can't think. I mean, gosh, it was, I did this for 20 years. I can't think of something from the home, but I did have this happen to me once. I had a mom approach me at like parent night and say, she said her child's name, and she said, he really wants you to stop clipping his fingernails. And I looked at her, I said, I've never clipped his fingernails. And she said, well, he says that you're clipping his nails. And I said, I can assure you, in all of my years of teaching, I've never clipped anybody's nails. And he was hiding behind her legs. And I leaned over and looked and said, are you biting your nails? And he said, so he was getting in trouble at home for biting his nails. And he told his mom that I was clipping his fingernails at school. I mean, and he was like 5, but he was, blaming the teacher already for something that he was getting in trouble for at home. And she just looked at him and she said, is that true? And he nodded his head and she said, I'm so sorry. I'm like, why would I be clipping your child's fingernails? It's not a thing I would do.
My first go-to upon hearing something like that from my child would be, really?
Right.
But I guess there are some Karens who, so I wonder if that taught that mom a lesson though. I wonder if like from then on she was like, would cast an eye towards anything and not automatically believe it.
I hope.
Yeah, or just always asking for the manager.
Wilson's come out to play. Wilson's come out to play. Wilson's come out to play.
All right, so that music means it's game time. Josh, we're going to do another flashback. So the conceit of this is that Josh has to put events from history in chronological order on a timeline. Now, I think this might be a little bit President's Day themed as we're coming up on President's Day on Monday. So your very first item is the Lincoln penny is the first U.S. coin with a president. Older coins just featured a lot of eagles.
Tell you when I think the Lincoln penny was first minted. God, I have no idea. I just thought we always had it as a country.
It's just like from the time we signed the Declaration of Independence.
Yes, it's like, okay, we get our freedoms and we have this penny that's got this guy we don't recognize, but he'll be president soon. Let's say that it was like 1920. Maybe it was later, 1920.
1909. So close.
Okay, so 1909. So now
that counts as your anchoring one. You don't actually get a point for that. During his golden age, an Italian craftsman reshapes the violin to create a larger, richer sound.
Viola.
Each instrument is known as a
viola.
Stradivarius.
Oh, wait a second. Okay, so Stradivarius, he just created a different kind of violin.
Just a larger, richer. Yeah, like he reshaped it to make the sound.
So let's say 1300s. 1300.
Okay, so definitely before the Lincoln penny.
Yeah.
Okay. 1700. So while you weren't close there, you still get the point because you got it correct on the timeline.
All right, go ahead.
All right. Ing, I guess is how we say this person's name, Lehman notices seismic waves bend near the center of the Earth. She posits the planet has an inner core, confirmed a few decades later by computers. Hint, hint, this should help you by computers a few decades later.
All right, so we're going to say that happened in 1945.
All right, so after the Lincoln penny, 1936. Close. All right, ready for more?
Yeah, go ahead.
A chemist, Spencer Silver, tries to make a powerful adhesive, but ends up with one that simply peels away. It's used to create
Elmer's glue.
Post-it notes.
Oh, okay. Wow. Post-it notes, like I became aware of those. When did I? Like 1990s? So we're going to say 1989.
All right. So after 1936. 1968. So you're
Oh,
still
wow.
doing well on your timeline.
Are Post-it notes that old?
Apparently.
Dang.
Soviets try to cover up a nuclear meltdown at Chernobyl. But hundreds of miles away, Sweden discovers something odd. Their rain is now radioactive.
Yes, that's odd. I remember Chernobyl. It was in the late 80s.
Okay.
So we're going to say 1987.
1986.
All right. Do I get
Very
extra
good.
points?
No. All right. The treaty.
Okay, can we stop and talk about like how horrifying this Chernobyl thing was? And like
I was 11, so I wasn't super tuned into it.
I did this deep dive at one point into like nuclear accidents and looking up pictures of the core when it melts down, which is rather unspectacular looking, but then seen under different types of light like UV light or radiation detectors, it is just horrifying to realize the destructive power that lurks where we can't see it. So don't ever look up nuclear core meltdowns because it's rather terrifying.
Happy
And then
Sunday.
like towns that were around Chernobyl that were evacuated, and so the towns stand as they were, like people just left what they were doing.
Yeah,
right?
no, that's kind of really creepy. It's like the haunted, or not haunted, but like the abandoned amusement park nearby and stuff like that. Yeah.
So interesting. So yeah, there you go.
All right, the Treaty of Paris, which ends the American Revolution, has a cartographic error. It becomes the northern bump or northwest angle in Minnesota. So if you've ever looked at Minnesota on a map, it's got a really severe kind of out, like it jets out and then curves way in.
Okay, so I should know when this happened. I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, I've watched Hamilton several times. Still don't know. So we're gonna say late. I'm showing my ignorance here, big time, and the failure of the American educational system. We're gonna put it after the violin, before the penny.
That is correct. 1783. You were going to say late 1700s.
I was gonna say 1790, and I don't know why I wussed out there. So okay, go ahead.
All right. Two more. The South allows segregated buses, defying the Supreme Court. Way to go, South. It takes hundreds of freedom riders to get the U.S. to enforce its laws.
Okay, so that would be after the Post-it note. It's real close to the Post-it note.
I can't decide if I think it's before or after.
Freedom Riders, freedom. Okay, we're going to say right before the Post-it note then, okay. Before 1968.
Correct, 1961.
Ooh, bam.
All right, now two more. I was wrong. Okay. The Dutch navigator Abel Tasman is the first European to spot New Zealand. Facing Maori warriors, he quickly flees.
Oh, gosh. No idea, but that's interesting. So when was New Zealand discovered by the rest of the world? That is amazing to think about.
Did they do the, what's it called?
The haka, probably.
The haka at him.
You ever seen
hakas
done?
Super interesting. Like I've seen it like at sporting events and things. And then I think I showed you recently there was an Instagram reel. It was a dad teaching it. Maybe 13, 14-month-old. I mean, the child was standing up, but they were doing the haka, and it was really cool.
Those of you not familiar, the haka is like and I don't want to belittle it by calling it a war dance, but it's a ceremony. It's a thing that the Maori people do, and I'm not even sure of the cultural significance because they do it at weddings, they do it at funerals, they do it when they're meeting people at the airport, they do it to start rugby games. But I think initially it was something that they would do to intimidate their foes in battle because they're making all of these expressive faces. They're doing all of these things, and they're chanting. Basically, we're going to beat the crap out of you, I guess.
It worked against Abel Tasman.
Well, it did, but it's really super interesting, and I find it to be very emotional.
It's very
as well.
moving.
Yeah.
I was reading the comments on that reel, and people were saying, this is not my culture, but this moves me. Like this tie and really holding on to the history of their people is really because that's not a thing that we respect here in this country.
It's not. We're too young of a country, and we're too divided.
Well,
and
we also stole this country from people that we marginalized.
But we don't really have that sort of. I think that's why Americans tend to really be into the otherness of what their family line is. So I'm Italian, which I'm not, but people are saying I'm Italian or I'm German or, I'm whatever, because we have a yearning as human beings to feel a part of something greater than ourselves. And I think that's where religion comes from. And I think that's where having really close ties to your culture comes from, is this need to be a part of something larger. I don't have that. I know that my family comes from Germany, right? But I mean, I have no particular ties to, I don't know anything about the culture there or anything like that. And I was raised in Miami, and so I was raised around a bunch of different cultures who took pride in their culture, like a bunch of Haitians and people from Central and Latin America, and of course the Cuban population, and they're very proud to be Cuban. And I was kind of like, oh, that's cool. I wish I had that type of thing. So yeah, every time I see the haka, I stop and I watch it. So when does this appear on the timeline? I have no freaking idea. I'm going to say 1600.
Okay, so before Stradivarius.
Yes.
1642. Good job. You are very close to a clean sweep. Ready?
Oh, you just screwed it up. Why'd you have to do that?
On a walk in Norway near a mental asylum, Edvard Munch feels something resembling a panic attack. It leads him to paint
The Scream?
The Scream.
Dude, no. Frick, I don't know what era that comes from at all. Do you know?
No idea.
Do you have any idea?
No. I mean, I think that I would pick around the 1800s, but I don't know for any reason why I would.
It's so funny because I don't have a real strong grasp on when things happen, not in my lifetime. So Picasso, I always thought Picasso was way back in the past. No. He's 19th, 20th century or something like that. I'm going to put this guy, though, in a more recent time period. Okay, so if we're going to put it in the 1800s, then we've got a nice space there between the Paris and the Lincoln penny.
But I'm not saying I'm right. I'm just saying that's where I would put it.
All right, so I'm going to put it at 1865.
All right, don't be mad at me if it's not. 1893.
Bam.
All right, you scored all 8 events correctly, giving you a perfect score in this week's flashback.
Well, but you helped me with the last one because there's no way I would have been able to pin that anywhere.
So it's they give you the reason why these things are in this week. So the Maori thing was that New Zealand hopes to attract more remote workers to jumpstart its economy.
Let's go.
I know, right? A New England conservatory sold its Stradivarius violin for $11 million to help its students. Love that. All right. Well, the rest of it becomes American politics with Minnesota Democrats having to defend their seats. But what I do appreciate about, I'm looking. Oh, there's something, how to safely hang anything on your wall. What's the Post-it notes? A Russian drone with high explosives damaged Chernobyl's radiation shield. Cool. That's great. But what I appreciate here is that the Scream was how to help someone through a panic attack. So it talks you through that.
All right. So New York Times does this flashbacks quiz. I recommend you do not do it because then
we won't be able to.
It'll screw it up for our podcast. So don't do that. And now it's time for Wilson's Poetry Corner. Amanda, I wrote a poem a little bit ago about something that's very close to my heart. Might feel a little bit pointed and controversial towards you, though.
Oh, Lord.
Ready?
Okay, yes.
Here we go. Springs poking through like metal teeth, stuffing spilling from underneath, stains from dinners long forgot, wine spills marking when times got hot. But this sofa is my friend. The cushions sag with tales to tell of countless nights I knew so well, watching TV and having fits when the when the remote control just quits. This sofa is my friend. Why are you not like engaged with the microphone? Why are you sitting back, rolling your eyes so hard?
Finish your love story to your damn couch.
They say just chuck it in the trash. That thing's worse than that ship that the iceberg smashed. But every scratch and every tear holds memories that I hold dear. This sofa is my friend. The fabric's worn down to the thread. The arms are hanging half past dead. The legs are wobbling left and right. But this is where I spent each night. This sofa is my friend. So keep your fancy leather sets, your minimalist design with rosettes. This battered beast has served me well, and if you think it looks like hell, you ain't seen nothing yet. So take your modern furniture, your pristine pieces, clean and pure. This sofa's got character to spare, and though it's beyond repair, my friend is going nowhere.
What does it say? What if I think it looks like hell? I've seen nothing yet. What else is going to happen? So we have this couch that was Josh's before we got married. Now we've been married 10 years, so this should age this couch for you. And I will grant that it is a very comfortable couch, but it is all the things that he has said. The frame is broken. The fabric is totally ripped off. I've tried so many different slip covers that don't work, so now we just cover it in a blanket. And it's not big enough for the number of people that we have. So when the older boys come, one brings his partner, sometimes a friend comes, there is not enough seating. Like people are sitting on bar stools. We need a sectional. We need an L-shaped couch to be able to fit all of the people. We want to start hosting dinner parties again like we did pre-COVID in the older house where we had 2 couches, but that one was like super broken. We need a new couch, and you don't want to hear it, and now you've written a love poem to it.
This sofa is my friend.
All right, that's all there is. There is no more.
No. Wait a second.
No one likes to be told what to do.
All right, so we can't leave you without doing our recommendation segment. Amanda, what would you recommend to our friends?
I recommend, so I was having a conversation on Valentine's night with our good friend Jeff, and stay tuned for a special episode of the Mailbag with Jeff's Refined Gay Thoughts. But I was having a conversation with Jeff, who was out on Valentine's Day, and his bartender at his local gay bar, the Ripcord, was asking everybody to play like for their love song or saddest songs recommendations. And so he had recommended I Can't Make You Love Me If You Don't, which is heart-wrenching. And I said, I think my 2 would be 2 songs from Rent, Without You and I'll Cover You Reprise. So we were talking about that. And then I started thinking about Jesse L. Martin, who played the original Tom Collins or played Tom Collins in the original Broadway cast. And love Jesse L. Martin. His voice is incredible, but he also did a long stint on Law and Order, and he now has a show called The Irrational. And it's really interesting. It's a procedural, but it's a different take. So it's kind of the same thing where there's a new case each week, but he plays a social psychologist. And so he helps the FBI, but from a standpoint of understanding why people do what they do and why people do things that are irrational. And that part of it is very intriguing to me. I just adore him as a person. And so my recommendation is to go check out The Irrational.
Okay, very good. I'll go with that recommendation. I'll watch it with you.
Okay, good.
All right, Amanda, that's all there is. There is no more.
I've already said that.
And I know, and I'm saying it because that's my thing to say. But there are segments that we did not include because life happened, and so we got that in our back pocket for next time. But what'd you think of that mess?
I liked all of it until you started waxing poetic about this broken down couch.
Listen, we all have these connections to our past, right? And this sofa is my friend. You want to have friends over, but in order to have friends over, you're going to get rid of a friend. This is not how life works.
Why can't you just put that couch in the office? And then we can get a new couch for the living room.
There's not enough room in the office. You say
Yes,
the
there
office,
is.
it's a tiny bedroom. There's not enough room in the
If you
office.
get rid of that rocking chair that's there, that's scratched to hell. You do sometimes.
I love
then
that.
Bring that rocking chair back up to this bedroom. We have a 2-story house with 4 bedrooms, and they're in a loft space. there is a place to put all of your things.
Okay, we're just not getting rid of any of my friends. This is not. I don't have a lot of friends.
Relocate your friends.
I don't have a lot of friends, right? So.
Well, speaking of friends, 2 of your friends are coming over for brunch in a few minutes, so we gotta go make some bacon.
All right. If you want to talk to us about anything, email us at familiarwilsons@gmail.com. If you want to sponsor the podcast, if you have a small business you want us to give a shout out, or if you just want to send us money to do this, then that's fine.
I'll start a couch fund.
No, we're not. No. Okay. All right. So until next week, take care of your family. Take care of your friends. Don't just throw friends away on the trash heap because they smell bad or they're inconvenient. Keep your friends and take care of them. That's
Just
my message to you.
Move them to a different room.
Brilliant.
Go be kind.
Yeah, be kind. This is what Amanda says. We're moving friends to different rooms, closing the door and ignoring them. Very good.
Bye.
Bye. She's going to get me.